The night was unnervingly quiet in the small town of Cedar Hollow, a kind of quiet that made even the wind hesitate. Emma Carter had just moved into the old Victorian house on Birch Street. She was a writer from New York City, craving peace and inspiration, but there was something about this town's silence that didn't feel peaceful. It felt watchful. The house had been empty for nearly 20 years, according to the realtor. Most buyers avoided it because of the rumors, stories of disappearances, flickering lights, and strange noises, but Emma wasn't superstitious. At least, that's what she told herself as she unpacked boxes in the creaky old living room. That first night, Emma sat on the floor, sipping wine from a paper cup, scrolling through her phone. Suddenly, a sound echoed through the house. Scratch, scratch, scratch. She froze, her heart pounding. The sound was faint, but distinct, like fingernails dragging along wood. Emma grabbed a flashlight and followed the noise, her footsteps soft on the dusty hardwood floors. The scratching led her to the hallway, then up the winding staircase. At the top, it stopped. She flicked the light around the landing, trying to laugh it off. Old houses make noises, she whispered to herself. But as she turned to go back downstairs, she heard something else. A whisper. Very faint. Like someone breathing just behind her ear. Emma. She spun around, the flashlight beam darting through the hallway. No one was there. Her breath came fast and shallow as she stumbled back into her bedroom, locking the door behind her. The next morning. The daylight brought some comfort, but Emma couldn't shake the unease. She explored the house, trying to convince herself she'd imagined it. That's when she found the door. It was behind a heavy bookshelf in the upstairs hallway. A narrow wooden door, old and splintered, with no handle, just a rusted keyhole. She tried pushing it, but it wouldn't budge. Something about it made her skin crawl. She moved the bookshelf back, determined to ignore it. But that night, the scratching returned. Louder. Closer. This time, it wasn't coming from the hallway. It was coming from inside her bedroom walls. Emma barely slept. By morning, she was shaking with exhaustion. She drove into town, hoping to distract herself, but Cedar Hollow felt strange. People avoided eye contact. Conversations hushed as she walked past. At a small cafe, she struck up a conversation with the barista, a young man named Lucas. When Emma mentioned she'd moved into the old Birch Street house, Lucas paled. "You should, maybe find another place to stay," he murmured. Emma frowned. "Why? Because of some silly ghost stories?" Lucas leaned closer. "It's not a story. The family that lived there before you, no one ever saw them leave. The police found all their things still inside. No bodies. Just bloodstains." Emma's stomach churned. "And the whispers?" she asked, trying to sound skeptical. Lucas hesitated. "They say the house keeps secrets. And sometimes, it keeps people too." That night, Emma tried to leave a lamp on, but the power flickered and died at midnight. The house was swallowed in darkness. She curled up in bed, clutching her phone as a flashlight, every sound amplified in the silence. Scratch, scratch, scratch. She bolted upright. The sound was louder than ever. Then came the whisper, a chorus of voices now, echoing through the walls. "Emma, help us." Tears stung her eyes. "Who's there?" she cried. Suddenly, something slammed against the wall beside her bed, hard enough to shake the frame. She screamed and grabbed her keys, racing out the front door into the night. She didn't stop running until she reached her car. She drove to a cheap motel on the edge of town, heart pounding, and stayed there until morning. Back at the house. The next day, Emma returned, determined to grab her things and leave for good. She packed quickly, stuffing clothes into suitcases, not daring to linger. But when she grabbed her laptop from the living room desk, she noticed something strange, a dusty trail of footprints leading upstairs. Her stomach dropped. She hadn't been upstairs since last night. Against her better judgment, she followed the prints. They led straight to the hidden door behind the bookshelf. And this time, it was open. The hidden room. Emma's flashlight revealed a narrow staircase leading down into darkness. A foul smell wafted up, thick and metallic. Her body screamed at her to run, but some morbid curiosity pushed her forward. She descended slowly, her hand shaking on the railing. The air grew colder with each step. At the bottom was a small, windowless room. The walls were covered in scratch marks, deep gouges carved by fingernails. Chains hung from the ceiling, rusted and old. And in the corner, bones. Piles of human bones, stacked neatly. Some still had scraps of fabric clinging to them. Emma gagged and stumbled backward. That's when she noticed the carvings on the wall. Dozens of names scratched into the wood. She ran her fingers over them, heart pounding, until she saw the newest one. Emma Carter. Trapped. She turned to flee, but the door at the top of the stairs slammed shut. "No!" she screamed, racing up and pounding on it. The whispers surrounded her now, louder, frantic. "Stay, stay, stay." The floor beneath her feet groaned. Suddenly, a trapdoor opened, and she plunged into darkness, landing hard on cold dirt. Her phone shattered. The flashlight went out. In the pitch black, she felt around, her hands brushing against fabric, soft, decayed fabric. Bodies. She was lying on bodies. A single dim light flickered on overhead, revealing a low-ceilinged crawlspace filled with more corpses. Her breath came in ragged sobs as she scrambled to her feet, clawing at the dirt walls. Then she saw him. A tall, gaunt man stood in the corner, his face obscured by a filthy mask made of stitched leather. He held a long, rusted knife in his hand. Emma froze. The man tilted his head, studying her like prey. "Welcome home," he rasped. The police found Emma's abandoned car 3 days later, parked in front of the old house. The doors were locked, her belongings inside. When they entered the house, it was spotless. No sign of struggle. No hidden door behind the bookshelf. The realtor put the property back on the market. A month later, another buyer signed the papers. The neighbors swore they saw a woman standing at the upstairs window that night, pale-faced and wide-eyed, watching silently as the next family moved in.